do have an arsenal of medium-range ballistic missiles which could target South Korea and Japan. But as of this time, those weapons do not carry a nuclear warhead. I have a passion for trying to get this younger generation knowledgeable of and interested in the security problems they will face when they are responsible for running this country.
I think many of those students like me who are traditionally just thinking about going into maybe more generic engineering tracks switched scope to say, even if I don't go in directly into national security, how can I as an engineer or scientist or whatever your background is really contribute to these global challenges that the world faces?
At the time when I was here and helping out with this class, it was always oversubscribed, and yet he never turned a student away.
He made the comment in one of the first classes that he views this as an investment in the future, and I really feel honored that he's willing to do that and spend time with us as students here.
Because I love to teach, and because I think it's important to convey what I have learned, particularly my experiences during the Cold War, what I've learned about nuclear weapons, the danger of nuclear weapons. I could convey those to the younger generation. After I was out of office, back at Stanford, in fact, President Clinton asked me to be a special negotiator to go over to North Korea.
Hearing those types of stories from someone firsthand and just hearing the life that he's lived, it makes you believe that you can go out and achieve similar things in your life. And that's a very inspiring message for a young person.
When you're with him, you feel like, wow, we need to do something, and there's something that I can do and I can contribute to.
There are very few professors that have the ability to inspire young people in this way.
It'd be difficult to think of a professor who's more inspiring than Professor Perry is in every respect.
These events are very, very real to me because I lived through them. My challenge as a teacher is to make them real for the students.
He can talk with the engineering students about the technical aspects of this technology and at the same time engage with the policy and political science students on a more policy, political level.
It's incredibly inspiring because you are sitting there and realizing that you're not just talking to somebody who has lived in the ivory tower and written theoretical papers all the time. You're listening and learning from somebody who has been there.
More than anything, what I remember is his ability to bring his own experience, his own anecdotes, to make these lessons of history more personal, more accessible, more immediate.
Sometimes these missions didn't go well, and people get hurt or even killed. And then I would try at each of those cases to meet with the family of the people and tell them why it was their son or daughter was sent on that mission. I'm interested in people. I like other people. I like to connect with them. I listen.
When he's talking to you, his attention is fully on you. When you make a comment, he thinks deeply about it.
He's not afraid to listen to different perspectives.
Dr. Perry sits and listens, and then when he says something, it's very well thought out, it's very clear, and it makes a huge impact.
I'm a student of Secretaries of Defense, and I've observed some of them failed for just one reason. No matter how smart they were and how well informed they were, they would not accept opposing points of view. And when they heard opposing points of view, they would come down very hard on the person. Once that happens a few times, the message gets out, and they don't get any more opposing points of view. And they make big mistakes because of that. I believe this is the greatest university in the world, not only in the sense of its research, for which it's well known, but it's a great teaching university.
I think that meeting people like him at Stanford, and him in particular, really was the difference for me between just coming here to go to school versus coming here to try and change the world.
There hasn't been a week that's gone by when I haven't used or thought about or invoked somehow in my professional career, starting companies, running companies, developing new products, where I haven't brought in something that I learned from Professor Perry.
I'd like to thank him for the service that he's done for our country and also the service he's provided to this university.
I know almost every student that takes that class is inspired by him and inspired by the example that he shows.
We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of students every year who are impacted by his way of teaching, his way of thinking.
I think one of the really valuable things Dr. Perry has done is to bring together like-minded students who are passionate about these issues and who hope to make a big impact in the future.
I think it was Santillanes that said that those who cannot learn from history will have to re-experience it, have to live it again. When I think of the World War II and the Cold War, the horrors of those two events which were taking place during the time I was growing up, I would hope that this generation will not have to live through that, and therefore they have to learn about what happened, why it happened, because they could happen again. It's going to be up to them to ensure that they don't happen again, that they'll have a better life for themselves and for their children.